city
park.
cities has done so much, and it all looks so great.
Yeah, and I
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeanette Wurzbicki. I'm the Executive Director of the Ohio Midwestern Governments Association, or OMEGA. And we're here this afternoon to talk about projects that ODOT has planned over the next 4 years in Muskingum, Guernsey, and Coshocton counties. With me today is Josh Sliker, one of our transportation planners, Kennedy Webb, our communication manager, and we have some folks from ODOT here, so I'll let you introduce yourselves.
Ben Boyer, District 5.
Ty Thompson, District 5, Planning.
Fred Vogel, District 5 and 11, Office of Jobs and Commerce.
He's the easy side of ODOT to know. Just kidding.
I'm in the sales, not management side.
Fred always brings his checkbook. So today we're going to do a brief overview of Omega for those that may not be familiar with our organization. And then we are going to go into a deep dive. Josh is going to review projects that are currently planned for Muskingum, Guernsey, and Coshocton counties. So who are we? We are a local development district and an economic development district that serves 10 counties in the eastern Appalachian region of Ohio, to include Guernsey, Muskingum, and Coshocton counties. We've been in existence for over 50 years, and since 2016, we now do transportation planning for 8 of our 10 counties. We also have 12 city governments as members, to include the cities of Zanesvilee, Coshocton, and Cambridge. Our basic mission is to provide a pathway for our communities to enhance community and economic growth in the region. And how do we do this? We assist our communities with project planning. We do a lot of grant writing for communities and also administration of a lot of those grants. We administer a program from the Appalachian Regional Commission and the Governor's Office of Appalachia. We also prepare and develop and implement a comprehensive economic development strategy. So if you're interested, we currently have that strategy available for public comment on our website. We also like to promote regional collaboration. Because we do cover 10 counties, we have the opportunity for maybe various communities or various counties to partner on projects. We serve as the district liaison for the District 14 Natural Resource Advisory Council, or the Clean Ohio program. That includes Guernsey and Coshocton counties. It does not include Muskingum. And then we are a regional transportation planning organization. So as a regional transportation planning organization, we assist with both short-range and long-range transportation planning activities. So last year we completed an active transportation plan for Coshocton, Holmes, and Tuscarora counties. We've done numerous school travel plans. We helped the city of Cambridge update their school travel plan last year, and we also did one for Ridgewood Local Schools in Coshocton County, and this year we're working with the city of Zanesville to update their school travel plan. Last year we also completed, through the use of a consultant, a local road safety program where we've identified like the 50 top crash sites in each county. And this plan provides our communities with an opportunity to then obtain safety funds to address some of those high crash locations. We also maintain a database for transportation planning. We are a regional coordinated human services public transit pilot program in conjunction with ODOT, and that's to improve actual transportation services with our public transit agencies and the other agencies that provide transportation service, especially for non-emergency medical transportation. We also are advocating for the completion of 2 critical corridors in our region, the US 30 to the north, and then the Columbus to Pittsburgh corridor which would be a continuation, starts in Albany. It's 4-lane all the way through most of Muskingum County. Then it necks down to 2 lanes in a section of Muskingum and Coshocton, and then back to 4 lanes. And then in Tuscarawas County, it also necks down to Tusk and Harrison counties. It's also primarily 2 lanes. Some of the technical services that we can provide are traffic studies, curve speed studies for advisory signs. We do crash analysis, and we help communities with grant writing for transportation projects. So in 2020, we completed our a new long-range transportation plan, and the 4 primary goals were to help preserve the conditions of our existing infrastructure, increase the safety. We know that crashes continue to rise, especially fatalities, and then also to have good transportation systems to facilitate economic and community development, and especially as our climate is changing, incorporating resiliency in our transportation planning activities, so we become less susceptible to routine flooding and landslides on our roads. So why are we here today? As I mentioned before, every 2 years, we develop a regional transportation improvement plan, and this plan covers the period from 2024 through 2027, outlines the projects that ODOT currently has programmed for those 4 years. And why is it important? It's important to give our local officials the opportunity to comment on these projects. So for instance, if ODOT plans to pave a state route through a village and the village knows they have a water line that needs to be replaced, it affords the village the opportunity to get that water line replaced before the resurfacing begins. It's also important if a community wants to promote active transportation, and we're seeing that more and more throughout our region. Maybe a sidewalk through ODOT's Transportation Alternatives Program or a multi-use path can then become coupled with that road improvement. It's also important that if there's a new development that our local officials are aware of, points out the need that, hey, maybe you want to delay the resurfacing because there's actually going to be a turn lane required down the road, so maybe we can delay that in conjunction with when the developer puts in that turn lane. Also, if a major bridge is going to be out of service, how can we work around that? Is there a way we can keep one lane of that bridge open if it provides critical access to a bridge or a community service? Now is a good time to be able to comment on those projects. So I guess I already said all that stuff. The other thing that we want to do is for locally initiated projects that our communities, we want you to have, our local officials have an opportunity to send to us those local projects that we can include in the plan and work with you to identify funding to implement those critical improvements. So where are we at in the process? We're at the very beginning. So in October, we have our meetings with our local officials. This meeting again is being live streamed, and it will be available on our YouTube channel to allow plenty of time for comment. During the next few months, we'll actually be preparing the report that goes with this, with these projects. That draft report will be due in February, and then we'll have public involvement meetings in the spring of 2023 with the goal to submit our final regional transportation improvement plan by May 1st. And then it becomes part of the state's plan and approved by USDOT. And it's the same timeline. And now I'd like to turn it over to Josh Sliker so he can talk about the investments that are being planned for the Omega region
Good afternoon, everyone. The investment in the Omega region is quite a bit, actually. 294 million, almost 295, just from federal alone. Then we're going into state, 91 million in state funding, and local match being 10%, or 10 million of that. Then we'll break it down into how that money is divided. Holmes County is going to be receiving 29.6, Tuscarawas 73.8, Carroll 21.6, Columbiana 60.2, Harrison 76.6, and then in District 5 we'll have Coshocton with 14.2 million, Muskingum with 51.6 million, and Guernsey with 69.5. Of the 69.5 from Guernsey, 46 million of that will be to repair the interstate, so 70 and 77 intersection. I've got it broken down here so you can see percentages as well, how this breaks down. And Harrison, Tuscarawas, and Guernsey are the primary counties where that money is going. Then we'll break it down further into how that money is being spent. And we've got 2% for maintenance on roads, 2% for safety, 3% for accessibility, and a whopping 93% for preservation. That would include pavement, bridges, and culverts.
And Josh, can you go back to the percentage chart just for a second? Since this covers the period of 2014 to 2017, and I know
27.
Sorry about that, I'm 10 years behind.
It's all right. We like the prices.
Yeah, the price is
Yeah.
much better. But since it's looking ahead, so the major interstate bridge replacement project going through Zanesville right now is not included in these numbers. Just wanted to make that clear.
Otherwise, the majority of this would be Muskingum. Now, we also want to include environmental justice in this to ensure that we are not focusing in specific areas. We are spreading this out to equally represent everyone in the area. This environmental justice is broken down by an income level of less than 50,959 or a minority population greater than 7.2% in the area. This is divided by census tracts, and there is an awful lot of environmental justice in the Guernsey, Muskingum, and Coshocton areas. Now, getting into the projects, this Coshocton and Guernsey look messy. There's a lot of projects, it looks like. However, most of these blue lines that you see are actually a multiple project, either safety project involving signs or a safety project involving redoing the lining on the roads, markings on the roads. There will be an update and improvement of traffic control equipment within the city of Coshocton, and Omega has assisted with that. State Route 83 has resurfacing from Coshocton to the county line. State Route 60 also has resurfacing from 36 to the county line. And County Road 16 has resurfacing from Coshocton to West Lafayette. County Road 365 will have bridge replacement over the Mohican River. That is right here, just in case you're wondering. And that project does force anyone who's traveling that route about 6 miles out of their way if that bridge is completely closed. So this may be a good opportunity for us to discuss, will one lane be open? What are some other options we can do? County Road 621 will have a multi-use path. This was from 36 to 36, and that was through TAP funding that Omega assisted with. So I'm very proud of that one. It was the first project I was involved in. And it got funded, which is great. And then County Road 12 will have a buggy lane that, again, Omega was able to do something about. We were able to award them money through our TPO capital capital program. Moving on to Guernsey County. As I said, we have I-70 and I-77 getting resurfacing and bridge replacement. I-70 will have a bridge replacement at or over County Road 44 at the State Route 83 intersection. And that is right about there. State Routes 313 and 146 will have resurfacing. State Routes 658 will have a bridge over Wills Creek, and US 22 will have a bridge over Crab Creek. There are multiple resurfacing, widening, and bridges on the county roads. And again, that is most of these blue and green lines. They're either resurfacing, widening, or there's a bridge involved. Edgewood in Cambridge will have a complete replacement of pavement, curbing, storm sewer, and new sidewalks. This continues to add on to the recent projects that have been completed in the Cambridge area, and it is looking great. Then we also have a Safe Routes to School program that Cambridge was able to do for Claremont Avenue. This is a sidewalk project that, again, Omega was able to assist with. Muskingum County has State Route 60 with $7 million of resurfacing and a bridge replacement. Several slip repairs throughout the county, including State Route 16. And State Route 16 will also have multiple resurfacing throughout the region. There are several safety projects totaling $1.6 million for guardrails, pavement markings, and addressing an issue at Dillon Falls and Pinecrest Drive that will create a roundabout in the area. State Routes 284 and 208, as well as 93 will have resurfacing, and 208 will also have bridge replacement at State Route 666 near Dresden, as well as another bridge replacement near Township Road 70 and 712. US 40 will also be under construction for resurfacing, and US 22 will have it as well. Township Road 492 will have a bridge at Meigs Creek. Am I pronouncing that correct? Meigs Creek, and Township Road 422 at Timber Run. Luckily, just before my colleague left Omega, he created an interactive map. This is a very useful tool. It includes all of the different projects in the area that you can just click on. If you want to click on one of them, yep. It will pop up with the estimated cost, fiscal year, the PID if you want to look it up for further information or match it with the documentation we've given you. The type of work it is, as well as its project name. It is very easy to use. If you click the Zoom to button, it will zoom right in and you will be good to go. And that will adjust for the size of roads and everything as well. So if it's a full section, you'll zoom out to that exact section. If we want to go back. Yes. So the link is here. Right now it looks a little messy, but this will be up on Omega's website in the near future. And you will just be able to go to our website, click that, find our link, or find our map, and see whatever you would like.
And after the meeting, Kennedy will be sending out copies of the presentation, so you can just click on the link that's in the presentation.
Go next. Regional transit assistance. We didn't have a lot of information on this, but we do know the numbers. And so we've got $1.2 million for vehicles from federal, with an additional $313,000 for local. For operations, we've got $4.6 million from both federal and local, as it is a 50-50 split. Next, we're going to talk about the transportation project profiles. And this will look exactly like this when you click on the link. You will be able to fill this out with the project title, PID, who you are, who you represent, and then we're going to get into the project itself, where it is located, the type of project it is, and the type of funding needed, as well as the time frame for when that funding is needed by. Then we'll give you the option to do a short explanation of what the project will be, why it is important in the area, and lastly, how it exemplifies Omega's goals for the project, for the region. And again, this link, it's messy right now, but it won't be in the future. We'll put it on our website. It's going to have 2 different locations, one under Contact Us, and then another under the Long Range Transportation Improvement Plan. And lastly, this is my information. I've also left cards here if you would like one. You're welcome to contact me with any questions you have. And now I would like to question the audience. Are there any projects that you have concerns with? Anything you would like to discuss? We can, just like Jeanette said, we can hold off on things, or we can move things up to try and match with the projects that are going to be going on.
I've got a project that I'd like to get on the regional transportation improvement plan, and that's to go from 146 to 22. So right now I have about 8,000 cars a day traveling on basically a very small residential road, and there's multiple accidents on it. It's the Dillon Falls corridor.
Yep.
That we're already seeing some decrease in accidents by doing some signage and some other things, but there's just too many vehicles per day on that, that local road. It's not meant for to be arterial, it's a local road. So I'll be working to submit that by the end of the month, get that turned in. But it's one that I'm very interested in getting on this regional transportation improvement.
And I think it checks so many boxes for our goals. You can probably check all 4 goals are gonna be met by that project. We're hopeful that if our RTPO capital allocation program is reallocated, those resources will be available. And I know we've talked about some of the federal transportation grants that are available, so we'd be happy to work with you on that as well.
Very good. I appreciate it. Maybe afterwards, we can make sure I have the correct information on all I need to put in there to get this submitted.
Sure, absolutely.
What's the county road, Mark? What's Dillon Falls County Road number?
Well, it's on that Pinecrest Dillon Falls
Yeah.
project. I'm not sure, I don't have it.
It's
right in front of me.
144?
It is in here.
Yeah, it should be in there.
He said State Route 146
It's
to
State Route
22.
146 to State Route
I don't know
22.
what the county road number
All right.
is. There's Dillon Falls.
Those
So
multiple
it's
county,
between those 2.
there's
All right.
multiple
Yeah.
county roads that are involved in it.
Yeah, that's right.
Pinkerton Township Road, Thompson Run is being utilized by it. Pinkerton to Kochek to
144. County 144.
144. Yeah, over and then Dillon Falls and Dillon School. All those roads are being utilized by about 8,000 vehicles a day trying to get from the south end of Perry County up to 146.
And that multiple span trust there.
Yes.
A lot of things going on there.
Yes. And the railroad underpass, that's real narrow.
Yeah, we had actually discussed that project just a couple of months ago. There is a plan already in place, but it needs to be updated.
Yes, correct.
So that would be great.
Yeah.
So maybe something to look at
because currently that's the roundabout project on here, it's the PID 115810, it's the same corridor, and we had scoped that. But with this bigger picture, Mark was looking at some other options, because since putting a Band-Aid on such a large problem, type
It's
thing,
too
so that's why we kind of,
comprehensive.
yeah, because we had safety funding for some signage and some other
Yes.
improvements.
And so some drainage improvements
Yes.
as well.
And then we have money for
We're
roundabout.
still, we're looking at it, we're working forward, but we're not certain we're gonna move forward with that project yet.
I think that at this point, it's the right-of-way concerns right now.
It's the right-of-way concern,
And
yes.
then why spend all this money to
Yes.
do a small fix?
Yeah. But we will move forward with the signage and the drainage project.
Regardless.
Yes.
And then online, Rick asks, how many project profiles does Omega recommend be sent for the 2024-27 timeframe?
Rick, any projects that you have in mind that could reasonably be constructed within the next 4 years? So a project that would, and if you're looking outside that, and we appreciate projects outside that scope as well, because then that can go into our long-range plan.
One that I wanted to raise is the intersection of 60 and 36. Riverview Schools is located there, and they will be getting an additional 500 students. It's either next year or the year after, next year, that will cause a serious problem. It's already a problem, there's a lot of accidents around there. I know not enough for ODOT to really be concerned about, but it is quite a bit. And the traffic turning left and right out of the school after it lets out, I was able to monitor that, and there's a lot of traffic. A couple of close calls, and apparently people are hitting the stone wall that is right on the corner of that property constantly.
So pretty soon it'll be gone.
Well,
It might
they've
be.
repaired it in the past.
So what county is that?
Coshocton.
Coshocton. I
Just
just
right outside of
Yeah.
Warsaw.
Yeah, when you,
Yes, yeah,
when
it's
you
right
throw
on
this
Warsaw.
number, then, I'm comprehending by county, so, yeah.
What do you mean, the superintendent next week?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I
Get
think
their
this is
indication of what their concerns are. I mean, it's probably no different than any other school campus. Like,
Yeah.
there's a period of time where there is a lot of traffic ingressing, egressing out of there. But want to go beyond that and understand, well, what is it that what is it that they're concerned
Well, with the
about?
speed of being on 36, that's just coming around a corner. When I first came out to meet with the superintendent, I actually was almost rear-ended pulling into 60. So I can fully attest, there is not enough sight distance, and the people don't slow down around that curve.
And I think some of the other concern is, and again, it's anecdotal, that there are a lot of crashes, a lot of evidence that that stone wall's been hit, but it goes unreported. And I know that that is an issue with respect to safety funds, but we hear a lot of anecdotal evidence. I mean, Fred Lockhouse even mentioned it as well.
That's my alma mater, and I witnessed quite a few crashes that luckily I wasn't involved in, but quite a few when folks are either leaving or coming to school. And next year with the consolidation of the elementary schools, that is what is causing that mass influx of students there. They're going to be moving a lot of their students from Warsaw Elementary over to the junior high building and kind of switching the classes around, so.
And-
Yeah, what is it, Thursday?
Yeah, next Thursday.
You got that set up with them, so.
Yeah, and I know it's probably not significant, but if you eliminate 2022, or 2020 crashes are increasing. I mean, it's almost like it goes from like 2 to 4 to 6 to 8. I mean, it's pretty linear if you throw out 2020.
Keeping records is important too. A lot of those local communities don't keep records, but keeping records is very beneficial.
And it's difficult though, you know, if somebody hits the wall and they can call their friend and get out and it goes unreported. You know,
That's nothing
Think to report it.
law enforcement agencies.
That's nothing law enforcement can do about it, yeah.
If they don't call you, you can't come out and take a report for something that they can't prove. But, yeah, we'll have a good discussion with the superintendent, understand what their concerns are for the next week.
And I guess, for those of you, that remember when, Kevin Buechner was our transportation director, he's coming back to, Omega in that role. And he'll be starting on Monday.
Very good.
So it's a boomerang.
Yes, yes.
And then online, Jennifer asks, speaking of schools, have you looked at 83 North to John Glenn High School in Muskingum County? Including the John Glenn Road, which I believe is partially county, there's a lot of daily traffic between buses and parents, and many homes with driveways that go directly onto 83.
We've looked at it in the past. There hasn't been what I would call a large number of crashes in that immediate area. And I'm talking about at State Route 83. I don't know about the is it John Glenn Drive or
John Glenn Road.
John Glenn Road. So I'm just speaking at State Route 83. We've done previous studies for speed studies. I think there was one intersection that we evaluated in there, but it hasn't been recently. I mean, when I say recently, in the past 4 or 5 years. All those studies I'm referencing are older than that.
And thank you. I knew that there had been a study, I wasn't sure how recent that was, and I guess I think of the upkeep and also the shoulder of
road because it gets so much.
and just repair pretty quickly. Now, granted, there was extra construction traffic the last year and a half because Muskingum was building a new building, so there were more trucks than usual. But I have noticed that the repairs have not held up, and I just wasn't sure how you evaluate roads that are major corridors to schools. And from my own perspective, I understand that crashes count as a metric, but I wonder if there are any prevention measures, because my primary goal is to prevent crashes. And that particular intersection that you were referring to with the caution light is something that I personally would like to, I know we have a meeting coming up soon, on it, but I thought since we have this meeting, I would ask some more general questions in the planning. That one of my concerns is that if we want to promote pedestrian traffic in our village, which is something that I would like to do, crossing 83 becomes that particular intersection, which currently has a caution light, that doesn't make a lot of difference with speed, but that could become a major pedestrian crosswalk connecting major neighborhoods. But we probably need some support from ODOT to make that happen. So I wanted to put that into the picture if I could. Along with possibly adding pedestrian access along 83 from Main Street up to the school in order to make the downtown of the village more connected to the public school campus. So I don't know how that fits into this particular meeting or your goals, but I want to throw that out there in this gathering.
And Mayor, a couple things. ODOT's Transportation Alternatives Program may be beneficial to install that pathway up to the school.
Okay.
In addition to safe routes to school, that would require the preparation of the school travel plan, and we would, welcome the opportunity to work with you and the school district on that travel plan. And maybe something, a combination of those two programs. We worked a couple years ago with Carrollton Village Schools. They had a similar situation. They built a new school campus, and the primary access was along a state route. And so through a combination of the Transportation Alternatives Program and the Safe Routes to School program, there's currently a program to install a sidewalk along that state route.
Oh, nice, I'm glad to hear that, thank you for that. That's really good. So, yes, that does address some of what I was referring to, and then back to the, sort of the maintenance and general concern about that road as well.
I thought, does New Concord have their school traffic?
They do not.
No.
They don't?
We've talked
They
about
had
getting it though.
Maybe it's a number of
It's
years
probably
old.
updated. They have to have it updated every 5 years, so if it was, it's probably outdated.
The one I'm thinking of is probably 10 years old or more.
Yeah.
You're right. They did go after it a long time ago, and they didn't get it, so they didn't do it again.
So they didn't update.
They get a plan, I mean, the funding opens up first of the calendar year through March, so that would be a good time frame if they did want to get funding to either go after the safe travel plan, if you guys didn't help them initially, or go after infrastructure funding.
I mean, we definitely want
Yeah.
to be able to work with them on school travel.
Well, they are changing now too, because it used to be $400,000 per project, now it's up to $500,000 per project, and it includes all K through 12, which used to be only K through 8.
I knew it was K through 12.
So there's a lot of good change, I mean, I think are progressive changes to the program, they're actually gonna make them very good projects.
I agree.
I couldn't quite catch that on my audio, but maybe Rick heard all that better than I did.
So essentially, Mayor, under the Safe Routes to School program, it's now increased from 400,000 to 500,000. And it covers K through 12 now. So I know John Glenn has that campus up there. Used to just be K through 8th. So very positive changes.
That'll make a huge difference for us, yes.
Yeah, and that application, the application for the infrastructure or any program will be first of the calendar year 2023 for the next cycle.
But they will have to have their plan
Yes.
updated.
So if it's something that, I don't think you'd have the time to get it done. So if they
Not
want to go
really.
for funding, to have a consultant help them update it or get a plan in place, that's an option for this current cycle that would be upcoming. And then they can go after infrastructure funding in 2024.
But it's important you get started on the plan itself.
Yeah.
Correct.
So it's ready to fire when the funding becomes available. Did you get that, Mayor?
So Mayor, it may be something we want to get together and get started in January on.
January, okay. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? As you look, like I said, we'll be sending out the presentation shortly after today's meeting. If you can think of any other questions or comments, please feel free to send them to Josh by November 13th. And if there are no other questions or comments, that concludes our presentation today. And look for the YouTube link that we'll be sharing later.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
I do have